Watching live right now or will be watching later, welcome to the Tour Tech Edition hosted by Niagara College International. My name is Karan Salgotra. I'm the International Student Housing and Settlement Advisor at Niagara-on-the-Lake campus. If you have any question related to housing or settlement, let me know. Please do comment, start asking questions right now. We'll be taking questions shortly. Who we have us with today is two professors from our technology department, and we have Anna from International. Anna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Karan. As he said, my name is Anna McQuiston, and I'm the current International Student Advisor here at the Welland campus. So welcome to the Welland campus today. And my role is primarily to help international students with transitioning here into their classrooms and into Canada, life in Canada, and any immigration matters that may come up, whether you're applying for a study permit extension, a work permit, or a postgraduate work permit after completion of your program. In addition, I'm here to help you with your academics, and that would include either adding a class or dropping a class, trying to find a peer tutor for you if you're struggling with any of your classes, making sure that you're in the right program, and if you have any additional questions regarding your academics.
Perfect. Moving on, we will talk to Wayne. Wayne, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Wayne Shaffer. I've been teaching for 2 years in the Industrial Automation Graduate Program. I spent 35 years in industry and kind of bringing that knowledge to Niagara College. I teach in robotics and industrial project management, sorry.
Sir Aaron?
Hi. Yeah, I'm Aaron Chetkowski. I teach in the Mechanical Engineering Technician and Technology programs. My focus in those programs is mainly on robotics, automation, machine design, CNC, and manufacturing. And I've been doing that for about 6 years and came from 10 years in industry.
Alrighty, so if you have any question relating to your technology programs, please do ask right now. You can comment. Let's take a few questions.
We have a question here from Instagram asking, what are some tips you recommend to do well in one of your classes?
Okay. Would you like to answer that?
I think one of the most important parts is showing up to every class. Missing a class should be considered very rare if it's extenuating circumstance. Come prepared to the class to learn, so that means getting your homework done. Typically, our assignments are graded assignments, and they're due exactly when we tell you they're due. In most of our programs or our courses in the mechanical program, assignments are due at a specific time and late assignments are not accepted. The focus will be to take it as your number one priority, so that means, again, showing up to class, doing your homework, and asking for help. That's another thing that doesn't happen enough. I think students undervalue the small size of the classes where you have access to your faculty to come up and ask a question or see them in their office. I think we're underutilized, so talk to your professors and start that right away. So I think that's my best advice.
Can I just add to that?
Oh, sure.
Okay, just to add to that, most courses here run accumulatively, so that means that your test may be worth 10%, your quizzes may be worth 2%, your assignments may be worth 15%, attendance 5%. That's very important, especially if you're sitting at 45% and you haven't attended any classes and you have 5% still to pass. That attendance is important because that's the difference between a pass and a fail. So I can't stress enough the importance of going to classes, connecting with your teachers, making sure you understand the content that's being taught. And if you don't, please come and see your international student advisor. We will connect you to a peer tutor.
Wayne, Aaron, would you like to add anything to that?
Well, the only thing I was thinking about as we were talking about this is to ensure that the students take copious notes. A lot of my presentations are done through PowerPoint. I have a lot of English second language students, so I make sure all my PowerPoint presentations are up to date, but I found a lot of students don't take notes. They just follow the PowerPoints, and I think that really detracts from their ability to learn. So just because we do it in PowerPoint doesn't absolve them of the responsibility of taking copious notes.
So you heard it from your teachers. Show up for a class, take notes, ask questions, and do the work. We'll take another question.
We have a question here from Osama on Facebook. Hello, can I study double major in mechanical engineering and automotive technician?
That's a good question. Our program is a fairly intensive program, and it's sort of intended that it's a full-time endeavor. So it's not recommended, I think, to try and take on two major programs like that at the same time. Our program takes, our class hours are anywhere from 18 to 24 hours of class in a week. And typically there's an expected homework ratio of maybe 1-to-1 or maybe a little bit more. So, you know, it can be considered essentially 40 or 50 hours a week of actual work to complete the program. I think the overall benefit to that, it might seem like a lot of work, but the benefit to that is that our employers, the employers of our graduates, know that our program is intensive in its nature, that our students are well prepared and are hardworking, so that they can easily hire our graduates. So I think it's an important balance to strike there.
Perfect. And if you do have any questions regarding your tech programs, please do comment. If you can't answer it right now, somebody will get back and reply to those comments. We'll take one more question.
I'm interested in the industrial automation program. What would I be doing? What does a regular class look like?
Currently, like I said, I teach project management and industrial robotics. So industrial robotics, we have a fairly decent class size, split it up into classes, say about 12 to 20 students or so currently. You do get a lot of hands-on experience with our industrial robots. We teach industrial robot programming and get you out into a robot lab to program the robot to do various operations. And there's a picture of the robot equipment on the screen there in front of you as well. We have a very good lab, so we can use the robot to pick and place from our conveying system, and you learn how to interlock the robot to our programmable logic controllers as well. And of course the other machine we have in the lab. We've got a CNC equipment in there, CNC lathe and mill that the robots can interface with.
Perfect. So we will take few more questions in a bit, but let's ask Aaron about the details of the program, or how does a regular class in a day-to-day at Niagara College would look like.
Yep. Okay, well, yeah, first I'll talk a little bit about what the program is. So we have two programs in mechanical, and I'll talk to those ones. We have the Mechanical Engineering Technology program. That's a 3-year, 8-month program with 2 8-month co-ops included in that. That's a program where we do all the same stuff as our technician program, which I'll talk about in a minute, plus we do additional machine design and theory courses, and of course the additional co-op, the paid co-op that I just referred to. The technician program is a similar program in that it has all of the hands-on and practical courses from the technology program and no co-op. So it's a 2-year program, and that program, so you get all the same hands-on, you get less of the math and the theory, but all the same practical. So a typical student will go through courses in level 1 and 2 where you get introduced to important concepts such as how we express ourselves in terms of drawings, engineering drawings and the like, how to use AutoCAD to produce engineering drawings for industry, how to use Inventor, which is our 3D CAD software that we use here to produce models and drawings. We cover aspects in physics and things that get us to the higher level knowledge for later. In the more senior courses, we start to get into the things like we talked about, the automation, so we do the CNC programming and operations. We have our students run a CNC lathe and mill program for them from their own drawings that they've produced. We have them work with the robotics, so they program robotics. They also design for robotics. So they'll design grippers and gripper fingers and understand how that works. We'll use 3D printing and rapid prototyping to create prototypes and models that we actually use to test gripper designs on our robots. We also do other areas of 3D printing and rapid prototyping as well, where we do tool design, and the students make a tool for a forming operation. They also work on learning about the science of measurement, so metrology as a fundamental course, manufacturing processes. They understand about, we have 2 courses in that, so we get into the conventional machining and we get into forming and those types of processes. We get into materials, so material sciences. Our students actually cut and polish samples and etch them and look at them under microscopes to understand, for example, what is it about steel that makes it stronger, and how do you make it stronger, and what do you do in terms of understanding what steel looks like under a microscope and why that matters. In the senior courses, we integrate some of those other courses. We put together our automation courses, we put together our design courses. So in the technology program, some of the design courses lead to a capstone project where they design systems. So in the case of this year, they designed a log splitter, which includes a design that includes the structure, it includes the powertrain of it, the hydraulics, all of this design work. And that was based on some fundamentals as well in computer modeling and also in fluids, fluid mechanics and fluid, applied fluid classes. So there's a lot to it. The technician program and technology differ a little bit, but there's a lot of overlap. So if there's any questions about those, I can clarify further. I think that's thorough enough.
That covered a lot.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So if I would like Wayne to add a little bit more about the co-op and how does when a student is on co-op, in term like you mentioned, they're on 16-month co-op and how they do it in parts, 8 months and 8 months. What does a usual co-op period look like? Aaron might be a better person.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I
if you
can
can
if you
add
want.
something on co-op.
Yeah,
that would be great.
so the co-op is, I think for the technology program, the co-op is one of the things that really differentiate it as a really strong program. The co-op, the 2 8-month co-ops, they're paid co-ops, and they are for industry employers, usually locally, but they don't have to be local. They can go anywhere within the country or within the world, really, as long as they meet the requirements of performing work that is suitable for mechanical engineering technologists. The experience is really good because it does a few things. For the actual student, it gives them the personal opportunity to try different things. So they can try for 8 months something new, something that they maybe not sure if they want to do that for the rest of their lives, but they try it out. If they like it, sometimes they'll go back, or they'll also get the opportunity for their second co-op to try something different. And I think that's a good idea for, especially if you're new to industry and you haven't done this before, you might not know what you like yet. And then the additional benefit to the co-op is that you're starting to network with people, and a lot of our graduates get job offers from their co-op employers because they've done this for 16 months to show that employer what they can do, and they're so impressed that many of our graduating students have offers before they graduate based on those experiences. So it's good networking. It's a paid co-op, so it helps, of course, because they get some money back, so it helps offset some of the educational costs. And when they come back after each co-op, they come back with now some experiences that they share with the class, which ends up being a very helpful aspect. So I think the co-op program is a very, very strong program for those reasons.
Perfect. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing this. Let's take a few more questions.
What kind of computer should I get? Do all the technology programs have the same requirements?
Okay, The Mechanical Engineering Technology and Technician program, that is a laptop program. So what that means is included in the cost of tuition is a laptop. The laptop is actually a lease program, so you're leasing the laptop for the duration of the program. And the benefit of doing that, you get to buy it out at the end if you want for $1. So you really get to keep it for $1 at the end. But the benefit to leasing it is that now we can provide on that laptop some very, very expensive licenses that you don't have to pay for additionally. You get student licensing on some very, very powerful software. There's tens or if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of software on the laptop that includes 3D modeling and industrial controller programming software and robotic programming and modeling software and math programming and modeling software. There's a very, very strong set of mechanical engineering software on that laptop. And this way you have the right equipment for the job. It's a very good laptop. You have the right equipment for the entire duration. It's a warranted laptop as well. So for the duration of the technician program and to the end of the technology program, the laptop has a warranty that'll protect you. So if you have a keyboard fail or something like that, you don't have to worry about finding money to go and buy a new keyboard. It's all covered, and the laptop's used in most classes. Not every class, but most classes, and you need to bring it to every class and use it. And then the nice thing is the licensing has been set up so that you can take now that laptop home. You don't have to come into or to if you're living in housing or a dorm or whatever. You can take it with you wherever you go, work where you want. You don't have to come into a stuffy lab and work there. You can work wherever you want with that laptop because the licensing goes with it. So it's very powerful part of the program, and that's for both technician and technology in the mechanical program. It's a little different for the industrial automation program. So I think Wayne would cover that one.
For the industrial a general use laptop with your basic software on it. For any of the stuff that we do in the lab, any of the work we do in the lab, we provide the computers and the software in the lab environment. So if we're working with Robot Studio for the ABB robots, you'll have time in the lab to work on our computers with that license. And you can also sign out time in the lab to work on it. Same with Rockwell PLC programming, all the software is in the lab and you'll be provided lab time to work with that software.
Perfect. So I'm hoping we're getting lots of comments, but again, if your a question doesn't get answered now, somebody will go back and reply to your comment. So please do ask us any question if you like. Madison, can we have another question, please?
How will taking one of your programs help me in my resume?
I guess you both can answer this question.
Okay. Well, for the industrial engineer program, and I think one of the questions the students keep asking me is how do I apply for a job when I don't have any experience? And I keep pointing out to them, I say, you do have experience. You've got 3 months working with ABB robots. You're working with Rockwell PLCs. You've got C programming experience now. Because a lot of our programs are hands-on in the lab, you can say you do have that experience. It doesn't have to be industrial experience to sell yourself to an employer. You just have to say, I've worked with ABB robots, and then explain how you can use that experience to apply to any other robot in the field. Same goes with PLC training. Okay, I've learned on Rockwell PLCs, and I know that has the basis. I know the basis of PLC programming, and now I can port that to Siemens or Omron or whatever PLC platform that the employer has. So when I was at General Motors and I was looking at potential hires, if someone came in and said, well, I've got some Siemens PLC experience just for a couple of months, that was huge, because that exposure tells me that they can hit the ground running with some projects that I could give them more experience. So we do give that experience here, and I think that's undersold sometimes when the students go out and look for jobs.
Perfect. Aaron, would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, I think for our program, I think I mentioned enough about the technology co-op, but that is ready for the resume. 16 months of actual work experience in the field that will help sell yourself there. In the technician program, I think I echo Wayne's comments that if you in the technician program, if you were to sell yourself as being able to use the equipment based on the fact that you have demonstrated that, you have projects that you can bring to the job interviews that you can show, here's a here's a thing I printed, here's a program I made, here's a video or an image of this job I did on this equipment. So I think that's a valuable aspect in the technician program. So both programs have, I think they also, if you have an interest in working in Ontario afterwards, we have a very strong reputation as well to work full-time here in Canada, and especially in our area, because our program is well respected, and many of the people in the industry around the area are graduates from our program.
Perfect. So before we wrap this up, can we take one more question? Do we have time? Perfect. So we'll take one more question.
We have a question from Osama. Can a mature student study in a technology program?
I think Anna can start on that a little
Absolutely,
bit.
absolutely. Anybody can study. Doesn't matter age. Everybody's here to learn. So absolutely, go for it.
And as the program aspect of it does mature, the age of the student matter?
I think
We're
there's,
probably both gonna say the
I
same
think there's,
thing.
I think there's a fair bit of a value in a mature student coming because they bring with them additional life experience. They've seen a lot more than maybe sometimes a younger student has, and those life experiences sometimes very much help them. I also, my notice, I've noticed in my experiences that the mature students tend to have sometimes a different focus. Their focus is very driven to getting something out of this. They know where they are in their life. They know what they want. So mature students generally do very well in our program. So I think it's totally fine. I think also there's something to be said about people who are lifelong learners and always want to learn. Although I teach here, I'm also a student. I take courses as well to keep learning, and so I think it's very valuable to do that. So yeah, there's no reason why a mature student shouldn't come and try out the program.
Perfect.
I wouldn't have much to add to that. I think we're both going to say the same thing pretty much.
All right. So we had some great insight of the program from our teachers. Is there anything, Anna, would you like to add on for an international student perspective, how the connection between an international student advisor and teachers, like you work with both teachers and the students, how they should maintain the communication back and forth?
Yes, we're basically, the international student advisors are actually liaison person between you, the student, and the teachers. So we're here to make sure that you're on the right path, that you're learning, that you're not struggling, that you're achieving your goals, your applied dreams. That's why we're all here. We want to see you be successful in your program. Just to go back a little bit to touch on what Aaron was saying with the technician and technology program. Just because maybe you're enrolled currently in the technician program and now you're interested because you've heard all the wonderful things about the co-op that is in the co-op program, it's not to say that you can't switch. You can certainly switch. The first two terms are identical between the technician and technology. So if you are interested in the co-op, please, please, please come and see your international student advisor, and we will connect you to the right path to get you into the technology program. Same goes if you're in the technology program and you're thinking it's too long for me, you want to switch to technician, same thing. Come and see your international student advisor, and we'll make sure that you're set up for the technician program. We just want to make sure that you're in the right program and to succeed in what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Anna. So, like you heard from the teachers and the ISAs, we have help here. If you have any questions, please do comment on this. You can send us email. If you are here, we have International Student Services to help you out. We have teachers to help you out. And again, what we want is you to succeed. Before we go, we'll take one more question.
Do any of the school technology programs have transfer pathways?
Aaron?
There are some opportunities. So are you talking transferring in though, or transferring afterwards? I'm not quite sure. I know yeah, I don't know if you mean opportunities afterwards. We have partnerships and arrangements with universities in Ontario and I believe some others, but there are some in Ontario where our students out of the technology program can get advanced standing, going on to other programs to earn a Bachelor of Engineering or a Bachelor of Technology degree. So if that's what you mean, yeah, there are in place some programs that several students have been successful in completing. Usually 1 or 2 students a year when they graduate end up going on to do more education. It should be noted that I think it's important to realize that our students graduate industry ready, so that's not necessarily required that you go on and do more education. You might be very satisfied, like most of our students are, to work in the industry with the skills they gain here, but there are opportunities that exist.
Perfect. Thank you. So I would like to thank you all for sharing so much great insight regarding the program and regarding the international student perspective. Again, if you have any questions, please comment. We'll get back to you. And I hope to see you all at orientation. Please do come by and say hi. Thank you and have a good day.